The Shedeur Sanders. You ever see that? Shedeur Sanders? Now, I know a lot of people are going to say, man, you cannot go out there and start insinuating. Insinuating? I don't look at it as insinuating. No, I don't. When it comes to business, I don't look at it as insinuating. But I'm going to say what I'm going to say. The Cleveland Browns just might cut Shedeur Sanders. Yeah. They might cut him. For why? Look, listen here. Cleveland, Ohio, is a blue state. I mean, come on. It's a blue state. It's hardworking people, right? Okay. Now, the contract they gave Shedeur Sanders, or they're going to give him, what he's entitled to, is not nowhere near shape or form what he would have got if he would have went in the first round as the within the top 5 pick. And the owner of the Cleveland Browns, now we got to look at one thing. Owner, business, this is business. The owner of the Cleveland Browns is saying like this: if that Negro going to play on my team, he going to bring me more than what his salary going to be. In other words, whatever his salary going to be, that's the reason why it's a low salary. $4 million for 2 years or something in that nature, 3 years, or no more than $6 million. Now listen, this guy is going to look at it, the owner is going to look at it, hey, he's an excellent player. I can make more money off of him. Times 3 times what his salary is that I'm giving him. And so in other words, I get my money back and some. And he's just a nigga out there working as a slave, thinking he getting a salary, but I'm getting 3 times his salary off of him. Okay, that's business. That's how they see it. So the reason why I say the Cleveland Browns is going to cut Shedeur Sanders is because Shedeur Sanders have other endeavors. He have contracts outside of the NFL with lucrative Wall Street conglomerate, almost, if not. So I'm saying to myself, the owner of the Cleveland Browns don't want to be associated with them, while Shedeur Sanders is an employee for the owner of the Cleveland Browns. So in other words, Shedeur Sanders endorsers are paying him way more than what the fucking owner of the NFL team is paying him. And the NFL owner is sitting back saying, ain't this a bitch? They just gave him a $12 million contract. They just gave him a $50 million contract. He just signed with Adidas. He just signed with Nike. They saying that's how Ohio is. So the only reason why he's going to cut Shedeur Sanders is because he ain't going to have Shedeur Sanders making more money than what his salary is with the Cleveland Browns, especially when he have all these endorsers coming after him, paying him these millions. It's envy. That's how Chicago, that's how Ohio businesses is. Envy. You didn't know that? Shit. Ohio. Do Eddie DeBartolo sound familiar? Let alone he got caught on the Louisiana gaming boat. But can you imagine what else he had been doing without getting caught in regarding to paying these African Jerry Rice. What was his salary? Have you noticed it? All-time leading wide receiver. Roger Craig, what was his salary? Have you noticed? Merton Hanks, what was his salary? Have you noticed? Who was the highest paid salary on the team? Did you see the Negro salary on the 49ers championship team? And they won the championship how many times? 1, 2, 3, 4? Did you see their salary? Disgusting. And by the way, the endorsers wasn't out there like they are out there today. Roger Craig, Merton Hanks, Jerry Rice, Ronnie Lott. Have you noticed their salary? Hall of Famers, automatic. So this is the reason why I say the owner of the Cleveland Browns is sitting at the executive table right now with his partners and saying, we got to release the nigga. We got to release him. Because he's already got damn near $75 to $100 million already set up in regarding to how he's structuring his own well-being in regarding to his profession. And I know Roger Goodell don't like that at all. Not only do the owner of the Cleveland Browns don't like it, Shedeur Sanders get a percentage of everything out the gate. Why not? He's negotiating like that. Oh, it's not for an NFL player to have that type of power. He's the fucking performer. Why not? Thank you. So this is one of the reasons why I say the Cleveland Browns just might cut Shedeur Sanders. Because he already have lucrative contracts way more than what the Cleveland Browns are about to pay him. And you know what the irony of it is? It's criminal. It's criminal being orchestrated and conducted against Shedeur Sanders. And I said all along, oh, let's not forget Jerry Jones. He probably paid, you know, when I started off, I said, let's not start assuming Jerry Jones is a businessman, isn't he? Didn't he try to get Deion Sanders to the Dallas? Didn't he try to say, Deion, come Deion, Dallas Cowboys, come Deion. Didn't he? Deion said, no. Now you tell me, a businessman like Jerry Jones can't get what he wants, a billionaire, got his own stadium, and can't get the Hall of Fame player who won him a Super Bowl, assisted in winning him a Super Bowl, and now he got a son who is absolutely talented. Deion, come to the Dallas Cowboys, Deion, and bring your son. Now get the picture? Jerry Jones can't get that. What is a billionaire man going to do if he can't get that? He's going to make a phone call to the Cleveland Browns. He's going to say, cut that nigga. That's what he's going to say. He's going to say, cut that nigga. Ain't no team going to want to fuck with him, but who? Dallas Cowboys. He's going to wind up with the Dallas Cowboys behind Dak Prescott. Watch. Now, if that's business or if that's criminal, that's criminal. That's criminal. When you fuck with someone who's in pursuit of progress and you want to have a fucking direction for it to go this way, fuck that. That's criminal. Jerry Jones is behind this, I'm telling you. They're going to cut that nigga from the Cleveland Browns, and Jerry Jones is behind it. Watch.
I love your hat, bro.
You know, when I was in Naples, Italy, I talked to some people who knew that guy, Joe Velocci. You ever heard of Joe Velocci? You ever heard of Joe Velocci? I talked to these Italian guys, and they were saying, what do you know about Joe? Ain't no bullshit. No bullshit. Joe Velazzi. That just came to my mind when my man told me he loved my hat. And I said, God damn. As a matter of fact, speaking of Eddie DeBartolo, he looked like Eddie DeBartolo's father. Yes, he do. He looked like Eddie DeBartolo's father. So now that we got that out the way, they're going to cut Shedeur Sanders. Watch. And it's going to be real nasty and ugly. And if Deion didn't have this surgery, cancer, I guarantee this is the picture. I'm just getting right down to it. Deion Sanders, if he's healthy, he's going to leave the Colorado Buffaloes. He's going to come to the Dallas Cowboys, and his son, Shedeur Sanders, is going to come with him. Plain and simple. Jerry Jones had already have it orchestrated. You understand what I'm saying? To me, that's criminal. And to me, the only way I look at it as, who fucked up my shit? Who could have done this? I'd rather be a Browns and to make this salary and keep my endorsements that I got, other than to fly off to somewhere else. See, and when I found out shit like that, I just said, fuck it. You better get him before I get him. That's how I tell the FBI. I say, motherfucker, you better get him before I get him, because when I get him, he dead. And ain't nothing wrong with that. Nothing at all. Why is nothing wrong with that? Because that's exactly what is being done to you. Plain and simple. I gotta go.